Hey, do you know what time it is? That's right. It's time for Coach Lindy's podcast. The podcast to get you moving. Hi, I'm Lindy Hutchinson, a certified life mastery consultant with the Brave Thinking Institute. As a life coach, I help others transform their life as I have mine. It's not easy, but it is possible, and it most certainly is worth it. Each week, I'll share insights that inform, inspire, and ignite in you your desire to create a life that you love. So let's find out what's going on this week. Welcome to the podcast. So we've been talking about the suffragettes, the women who led, and some men eventually, who led the way in women's rights and also abolishing slavery. We talked about Susan B. Anthony. We talked about Elizabeth Cady Stanton. We talked about Amelia Bloomer. And today we're going to talk about Lucretia Mott. She was one of the earlier suffragettes. And this is a picture for those of you on video. Lucretia was born in January 1793. The other people we've been talking about, I believe all of them were born in the 1800s. So she was a little bit older, and she stood at 4'11". So she was a little mini me. In fact, that's our power word for the week is mini, as in don't underestimate the minis. And we'll talk about why. Now, she was raised in Nantucket, the island in Massachusetts, and she was also a Quaker. We remember that Susan B. Anthony was a Quaker, and what was very nice is the Quakers believed that all people are equal, and that includes women. So women were treated as equal. They believed that in front of God, all people took their place. And so here on earth, women were allowed to speak and function. And especially in Nantucket, during the day, the men would go out fishing. And unlike today that has all the high-powered fishing apparatus, it was that was what you did. Your whole life was trying to feed your family by catching fish. So while the men were at sea in Nantucket, women ran the island. And so it gave them a great deal of say-so and a great deal of power, which worked in their Quaker belief system. Lucretia she and her husband James ended up having 6 children. 5 of them lived to adulthood, which is remarkable. She was an outstanding speaker for being very tiny. She still was very articulate, and she could speak to the crowds very well. The only problem was that was not socially acceptable. And there was an incident in 1840, 2 years prior, 1838, her family moved from Nantucket, Massachusetts, down to Philadelphia in Pennsylvania. And at the Pennsylvania Hall, which was a very beautiful building, they built it with the idea as for free speech, to speak out plainly and share your beliefs. Well, guess what? For 3 days, there was an arrangement by Lucretia, her husband James, and other luminaries. For 3 days, they talked about why slavery should be abolished and why women should have equal rights. And after those 3 days, the locals burnt the building to the ground. And it was quite a mob. And it was, I don't remember reading that there were any deaths, but it was not a happy time. It was dangerous. But Lucretia, she made it be known that she was going to speak about this. And fortunately, she had the total support of her husband, James. And there were other persons who were speaking out. And 2 years later, in 1840, they went to London. And in London was the World Anti-Slavery Convention. And to everyone's surprise, she spoke there, even though that wasn't typical. And as they said, she became way more famous after the convention because she was this little tiny person who had a powerful message and was quite skilled at delivering it. She, a little sidebar, she was also cousin to Ben Franklin. How about that? Who also was quite a gifted speaker. When she was 15, going back a little bit, before she got married, she became a teacher in Boston. And she discovered, as Susan B. Anthony did, that the male teachers were paid significantly more than the female teachers. And so that was one of the things that helped ignite her passion to go forward. She and James apparently had a very lovely marriage. They worked hard together. And in the 1848 Seneca Falls Convention that we talked about, she was one of the mainstays. She was one who helped coordinate that and put it together. She has a long list of accolades and recognitions for the work that she did, and she was quite outspoken and did a lot to promote equal rights for men and women of color and women in general. So we can be grateful for Susan B. Anthony and Lucretia Mott and the other luminaries who were suffragettes and worked hard to establish freedom for everybody. So our word for the week is Minnie, and she was a Minnie. And I say that Lucretia was Minnie in body, but she was maximum in spirit. And that's most certainly what she was. So we never want to underestimate our voice. We never want to downplay what we can contribute, because most of these folks were pretty ordinary in that they didn't have any super specialized training, but they followed their heart. And it says, for example, she helped found the Female Medical College of Pennsylvania and another college for design, College of Design for Women. So there was, again, her list of what she did. It goes on and on and on. Very impressive, but someone who's motivated by her heart and conscience, and you and I benefit today. So thank you, Lucretia and James Mott. So comedian Rob Brackett says, you know you are working class when your TV is bigger than your bookcase. I'm not going to tell you how big my TV is. Okay, it's great to see you. Have a wonderful week. And remember to keep creating your dreams, you're following your vision and bringing that into fruition because you deserve it. Take care. We'll see you soon. Hey, thanks for joining me this week. I look forward to being with you every week. And if you'd like to get in touch with me, please email me at coachlindy@lindyhutchinson.com. My name is spelled L-Y-N-D-I, so it's Coach Lindy, L-Y-N-D-I, at Lindy Hutchinson, LYNDIHUTCHINSON.com. I value what your input is, and I'm always open for suggestions and ideas. If you will like and or subscribe to this podcast, that would be wonderful. I appreciate it. And I enjoy anything that you might want to send in, or if you would like some more information about coaching, send me an email and I will get back with you and we'll talk about how you can create your best life. Have a good week. We'll see you next time. Thanks. Bye-bye.